to deal with Kyle's car.
Pace car is on pit road. The last 10 laps coming up in the Winston. They wave the green flag, and Elliott comes up through the gearbox. But Bodine is going to get him, jumps him on the start here, and will pull away by half a car length heading for turn 1.
Bodine has the lead for the moment, but it's Elliott who has the inside groove. Their cars get together. Bodine spins. Elliott goes high. Earnhardt goes low. Cars going every which direction. One other car spinning. It's Yarborough. Everybody else continues away, and Earnhardt has the lead.
But they've thrown the caution. They'll race back to the flag and head for turn 3.
It won't be much of a race for the lead. Earnhardt's got a huge advantage as they peel off into turn number 4. Elliott has come through the mess to hang on to the second spot. He'll have a shot at Earnhardt as they race back to the yellow.
Earnhardt will lead them back, and the caution will go out. Now, the laps will not count under this caution, so they'll line up as they come across the start-finish line, so nobody will really lose that much other than Bill Elliott, who's going to drop back at least one position. Let's go back to turn 1 for a quick recap.
Well, it was as Neil Bonnet says, a couple of guys going for the same spot as Elliott and Bodine. With Elliott on the inside, Bodine's car came around. Everybody went high or low on the binders in a hurry. Only Cale Yarborough spun, and he too has now managed to continue away.
Well, the first contact was headed for turn number 1. Bodine and Elliott appeared to get together, and then going into turn number 1, Earnhardt got into Bill Elliott, and that kind of started things going. Elliott came up into Jeff Bodine. Bodine's car going sideways. Earnhardt jumped right to the bottom of the racetrack. You talk about cool moves, and snuck by on the inside. Well, when they started this race off, introduced the drivers, they had a song to play for each driver. For Cale, it was Darlington County. For Tim Richmond, it was Life in the Fast Lane. They should have kept Olivia Newton-John's physical and played it when they dropped the green flag, because that's how it got down there in turn 1. Let's go to pit road.
Well, they're going to change all 4 tires on the Levi Garrett Chevrolet, Mike Joy. There's some damage to the left front fender, but it doesn't appear to be much of a problem for them. They're just going to change the tires and send him back out there and hope that he can come back up through the pack.
Well, they got Cale. They're going to change. They changed right side tires, and they're going to go to left side too. But I think he lost a lap during that. Of course, I think he was a lap down anyway, so that'd make him 2 down. But he's definitely out of it now.
Well, this lap does not count. Remember, these last 10 laps must be run under green, although they don't have to be run consecutively. So as the caution flag waved, while the cars were still in turn number 2, this lap doesn't count. There are still 10 to go, and the excitement is building up here in the Winston. Looking for the green flag next time by at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is MRN, the Motor Racing Network.
Right on Bill Elliott's rear deck is Tim Richmond. Right behind Richmond, Terry Labonte. Those front 4 cars now having broken away. But off turn number 2, using the middle groove, it's Earnhardt showing the way.
Big question, how much was Bill Elliott's car beat up in that altercation as he got the race car to come back and challenge Dale Earnhardt? As they move through 3 and 4, he's down on the bottom. He's right at Earnhardt's rear deck. They're out of 4, headed back to the wire.
Elliott slides up the racetrack, doesn't touch Earnhardt, but he's locked right onto him. This will complete lap 2 of the 10-lap segment. NASCAR conferred, reversed their decision. They did count that first lap, so we're now 2 down, 8 to go.
Elliott is still there, right in the tire tracks of Earnhardt. Now to the inside they go. The cars touch. They both maintain the right direction. And off turn number 2, Earnhardt leads, and it's Labonte and Richmond moving.
Physical indeed, as Elliott made his move and tagged into Earnhardt. That gave the opening to Tim Richmond. He moves up on the inside of Bill Elliott. Tries to get the spot. Elliott draws back in front. Now Elliott goes after Earnhardt as they come out of turn 4.
Earnhardt is using every inch of racetrack, and Elliott gets together with him. Earnhardt goes off in the grass, brings the car back onto the speedway, and keeps it in a straight line and holds onto the lead. Unbelievable. They're back in 1.
Simply remarkable. Back into the corner they go. Elliott is again there, right behind Earnhardt. Again, Labonte trying to peel off number 2 corner to the inside of Tim Richmond. That's a battle for third, and now Earnhardt and Elliott are side by side.
Elliott is going to try the outside line down the backstretch. Into turn 3 they go. He's going to go in on the outside of Earnhardt. They touch again. Tire smoke, side by side, hooked together. Down to the bottom comes Terry Labonte, and he's going to pass them both. Labonte will take the lead.
Elliott got muscled out of the way by Earnhardt. Labonte went to the bottom of the racetrack, snookered Earnhardt for the lead, but Earnhardt has more power down the straightaway. They'll be dead even, 4 cars deep in turn 1.
Unbelievable racing. Back into the corner they go. Labonte has to yield the inside to Earnhardt. Off the corner, Earnhardt leads. Labonte second, Richmond third. Elliott's coming back.
Let's see what Elliott can do. He got shuffled all the way to 4th spot. He goes after Tim Richmond as they hit the entrance to turn 3. This time Labonte leaves Earnhardt about a car length now. Elliott moves right up under the rear deck of Tim Richmond and gives him a shove. Elliott dives to the inside.
This is what the Winston was designed to do, test the ability of the best drivers in the business, and Earnhardt is making him work for any inch of ground they gained on him. He hangs onto the lead back in 1.
As they work into the corner, behind the front four. Some pretty good battling as well. But that fifth place battle is at least 5 car lengths back. Elliott, he's sideways off turn number 2. He gathers it back in, but he's losing distance.
Elliott's car breaking loose badly, and as they come by too wide right behind him, Kyle Petty just missed him. Elliott draws back down onto the apron. He is out of contention. Meanwhile, Earnhardt leads Labonte off turn 4, about 3 car lengths ahead of Richmond.
Elliott says he has a flat tire. The crew is ready to bring it in. We'll see.
Elliott comes down pit road. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead goes back to turn 1.
And Earnhardt still shows the way. The blue and yellow colors just ahead of the red and white of the Budweiser Chevrolet of Labonte. And Tim Richmond, what a return it would be for him in Winston Cup Racing. They're 1, 2, 3.
Well, if it comes down to a 10-lap shootout based on everything we've seen this year, and in fact in the last half dozen years, Dale Earnhardt is a good man to put your money on. He is going to be tough to get around. Labonte and Richmond are both right there to give it a shot. Labonte about 3 lengths back.
The last rear tire was flat on the Coors Ford. Barney, when he was in here just a few laps ago, that car looked like it just come out of the showroom floor. Now it looks like it's been in a demolition derby.
Neil Bonnet hit the nail on the head a moment ago when he told us that whoever wins this race would not be a gentleman and that he would get some negative press. There is no question about that. Meanwhile, it is Earnhardt by 2 car lengths over Terry Labonte. Right behind him, Tim Richmond. Those 3 have broken away by about a second on the rest of the field. They're in 3.
Richmond definitely got a good combination out of Harry Hyde. They tried to tighten that car up, make it work. It's working much better, although he slides a little high that time out of 4.
2 laps to go. Earnhardt by a car length. Labonte is there. It's the Chevy show with Richmond back in the 3rd spot. Wallace's Pontiac is 4th, and then Bodine.
There can't be a person still sitting here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway as Bodine now works to the outside of Rusty Wallace in their private battle for 4th and 5th, but Earnhardt still leads at the point.
Bill Elliott limping on the front straightaway. He will not be a factor at all. Terry Labonte with a really resurgent car from the first segment coming up to try to make one last challenge at Dale Earnhardt. He is about 2 lengths back as Richmond tries him on the outside.
Earnhardt brings him out of turn number 4 and down to the line. White flag, final lap for them. Earnhardt takes him back into the number 1 corner. Labonte is 2 car lengths back then Richmond. It looks like they'll settle it among those front 3. They're in 1.
It is 2 car lengths back from 1st to 2nd, a car length back from 2nd to 3rd. Ironically, the leaders are now closing in on the slowing car of Bill Elliott. Off turn 2, Earnhardt leads.
Richmond looks like he wants to make a move on Labonte as they head down the backstretch for the final time. Now Labonte trying to drive it in deep on Earnhardt. Earnhardt comes down to close the door. They're all 3 glued to the bottom of the racetrack as they head for the finish.
They may not catch Elliott before the checkered flag. In 1985, it was Waltrip. Last year, Elliott, the 3rd running of the Winston. It's Earnhardt's by 2 car lengths over Terry Labonte. Tim Richmond finishes 3rd. What a last 10 laps. Barney, it was what they paid to come to see, what NASCAR and Winston and everyone here hoped for, and what a show at the finish. Earnhardt will go to victory lane. It is over here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It is over, and yet it has just begun. The Winston is history, and the whole week of racing here at Charlotte begins again with Busch Pole qualifying for the Coke 600 on Wednesday afternoon.
Let's check in with Ned Jarrett and see what's happening.
It'll be just a moment before he'll get in there and we can get to him, Barney Hall. But yes, there was some hot tempers on pit road as Ernie Elliott and many of the Coors team went over to the Wrangler team. They were pitted right side by side, just a pit between them. And some very harsh words were said we couldn't hear, probably couldn't repeat what was said there, but they were very upset. The NASCAR officials got in there very quickly and got them separated, but you're right, tempers were very high.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them. Kyle Petty got out of his car and run over to Bill and said something to him and took off, and I patted him on the back, and I said, who you mad at? And he said, nobody, and away he went, and then Bill got out of the car and took off toward the truck, so I'm not having much luck here.
We'll catch up with some of those guys in just a moment. Now, it appeared that there could have been some contact after the checkered flag right in the middle of the backstretch between Earnhardt and Bill Elliott and Jeff Bodine. Whether it was intentional, we can't say because we're just sitting here in the tower. It could whatever, and you can't really see that close over there. But it looked like the cars did get together. But we'll try to follow up on that before we leave the air. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt has won the Winston. And Neil Bonnet, as we said a moment ago, there's no way to emphasize what he said. The kind of money they're running for, $200,000, the best drivers in the world. Nobody's going to give you anything out there those final laps, and as we have documented for the last 2 years, Dale Earnhardt is one of the toughest on the speedways. He won't give you anything. Let's go to Ned Jarrett.
Well, a very happy crew here in Victory Lane. Richard Childers, we'll get to Dale Earnhardt in a moment. Richard Childers, the car owner. Richard, he did pull it off, but boy, it was wild.
I tell you, when a man can bring a car out of the grass like he did there, he deserved to win. You know, I'm just proud to be associated with Dale Earnhardt.
What went on up there in the pits after the checkered flag fell?
Well, there was a little heat, and everybody will cool down a little bit afterwards, but it's just the way it goes.
Okay, well, let's get over here and talk to the man who has been the dominant force on the NASCAR Winston Cup circuit this year and then taking the Winston here today. Dale, congratulations.
Got a little rough there.
Yeah, it did. What happened?
Well, a 5 car and the 9 got together down there, spun out on that restart, and, that gave me the lead. And Bill caught up with me, and he turned me sideways off 2 over there. And that didn't bother me too bad, but when he turned me through the infield, it sort of made me hot. I carried him up the racetrack down there, let him know I was mad about it, and tried to run him in the wall or nothing. He waited on me a lap and tried to run him in the wall. I think I would get fined for that.
Well, it looks like this Wrangler Chevrolet sort of beat up. Looked like he's been on one of those short tracks around the country. As Dale waves to the crowd here. Well, we're going to let him go and just cool off here for just a moment.
Dale Earnhardt kind of telling his side of the story over there. Let's check in with Dick Brooks and see if he's caught up with anyone in the garage.
Well, I think we better let everybody cool off over here unless we want to talk to somebody that didn't have anything to do with that. A few fists flew here a few minutes ago between Kyle and Rusty Wallace. NASCAR officials broke it up, but it hasn't stopped yet. I've been in fights before, but I was always mad. This time I ain't, and the guy get hurt in here if he ain't mad.
Well, that was the kind of finish they predicted here for those final 10 laps this afternoon, and that's exactly what happened. And it has been a while when everybody said it would be. Even the drivers themselves said, hey, if I get a chance, I'm going to do what I need to do to win the race this afternoon. So obviously they're all going to be mad at Dale Earnhardt because he won, and if you didn't win, then you're going to be a little bit ill for different reasons, and that's just exactly what everyone expected, and that's what we saw.
Barney, let me talk to somebody here that's reasonably calm. Cale, you had a little problem there right toward the end. What happened?
Well, I didn't have the problem. Everybody else in front of me had the problem, and then Bobby Hillin Jr. ran into the back of me again. I'm getting run into the back two every time, I think. But, I just had a bad day all day, Dick. We had a 200-mile test session is what it amounted to. We learned something on every run. And there at the end, we were running pretty good. So we didn't make any money, but I'm glad we got to run.
Well, I'll tell you, got some exciting stuff going there in the last 10 laps. There's a lot of hot tempers.
Yeah, I'd like to have been up there in it.
Yeah. Okay, Barney.
That's one way to put it.
I'll bet he kind of would. It is the kind of event, Barney, as you say, when you're going to shoot him out for 10 laps. And, boy, it was a shootout, and Bill didn't have all the ammunition. He got roughed up a bit. He gave a little back, and looking at some of the video replays, it's obvious that it was a lot of give and take. But what surprised me most was that after the first 2 segments, they came out of the box, took the green flag for this last one, and Elliott did not get the jump, and as such, he couldn't get out front and pull away.